He shouted at her in front of everyone, called her a liar. He didn't even check her ID, Doc, but 5 minutes later, 5 generals came running to the gate, not to punish her, but to stand beside her. What happened next? No one on that base will ever forget. It was 7:40 in the morning. The sun was rising over Fort Richmond Military Base, one of the most secure defense zones in the country. The base was alive with sound boots striking the ground. Flags waving, vehicles moving in perfect rhythm dotted the gate. Sergeant Daniel Cole, a strict, no-nonsense guard, stood alert. He had one rule: never trust anyone without verification. That's when he saw her, a woman, walking toward the gate, calm, quiet, and strangely confident. She wore a beige uniform without any visible rank badge. Her cap shadowed half her face, and in her hand, she carried a slim brown file. "Ma'am, stop right there," Daniel ordered. She paused, nodded respectfully. "I'm here for a scheduled meeting with command headquarters," she said softly. Daniel's eyes narrowed. "Name? Aisha Rahman." Daniel scanned the visitor list, but he didn't find the name. He frowned. "You're not on the list, ma'am." "Do you have an ID?" She smiled gently, opening her bag. "Yes, I do. Just a sec." But before she could take it out, Daniel snapped. "Ma'am, this base is under high alert today. You can't just walk in claiming you have clearance. Step back." His tone turned harsh, the kind that made junior soldiers freeze. The woman lowered her hand slowly, her calm eyes never changing. "I understand, Sergeant. But please, call your superior. You'll find my name in the restricted entry list." That word, restricted, made Daniel's suspicion grow. Restricted lists were only for top-level classified personnel. No one just asked to be on it. Restricted lists? He scoffed. "Nice try. You think I'm new here? Step back, ma'am." I said now. A small crowd began forming. A few young soldiers whispered, "Who is she?" Another chuckled, probably some clerk trying to act important. But there was something in her eyes, a quiet authority. She didn't shout. She didn't argue. She just said, "I'll wait." And she did. She stood by the wall, under the blazing sun, saying nothing. Minutes passed. Then, out of nowhere, the sound of approaching engines, black SUVs, stormed through the road leading to the gate. Daniel straightened. High-ranking visits were rare, and 5 vehicles at once? Something was wrong. The first SUV stopped, and out stepped General Marcus Reed. The base commander behind him, General Avery, General Kahn, General Miller, and General Sandoval. All 5 generals. Together. Every soldier in sight froze to attention. "Sergeant Daniel Cole." General Reed shouted, "Yes, sir." Daniel snapped to salute. Reed's voice thundered. "Who stopped Dr. Aisha Rahman at this gate?" The words hit like lightning. Daniel blinked. "Sir, who?" General Reed turned, pointing at the quiet woman. "Her, the lead scientist of our national defense program, the reason this base even exists." Daniel's breath caught. He looked at her again, and this time, he saw. She wasn't just a visitor. She was the Dr. Aisha Rahman, the scientist who designed the advanced AI defense grid protecting the country's borders. A civilian genius given military clearance above. Colonel rank. Daniel stepped back, his voice shaking. "Ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't know." Dr. Aisha smiled faintly. "You did your duty, Sergeant. You followed protocol." But General Reed wasn't calm. He turned to the soldiers. "You think respect is only for stars and stripes? This woman saved more lives than any weapon here." The base fell silent, yet Dr. Aisha lifted her hand gently. "General, please." "There's no need for that." She turned to Daniel. "You didn't recognize me, and that's good. Recognition should never replace rules." The words silenced everyone, even the generals. Then came the twist. General Reed frowned. "Dr. Aisha, if I may ask, why didn't you use your clearance ID? It would have avoided all this." Aisha smiled softly. Because I needed to know how your soldiers treat someone they don't recognize. Whether they respect protocol or people. Everyone stared. She continued. I was testing security integrity. And Sergeant Daniel passed. The generals looked at each other, realization dawning. It wasn't an accident. It was a planned test. Daniel looked stunned. Wait, this was a test? She nodded gently. Yes, and you stood firm. You did exactly what a true soldier should. Question everyone. Even if it's someone like me. The tension broke into respectful silence. Then, unexpectedly, General Reed turned to the guard and saluted. For what it's worth. Sergeant, you made this base proud today. The other generals followed suit, saluting both Aisha and Daniel. Every soldier watching felt a chill run down their spine. Dr. Aisha smiled once more. Respect doesn't come from rank or fame, Sergeant. It comes from doing the right thing, even when you don't know who's watching. She turned, walking toward the base building, the generals walking behind her. As the sun set that evening, Sergeant Daniel stood at the same gate. Still processing what happened, he'd shouted at a woman he didn't recognize. He'd been seconds away from humiliating someone who had changed his country's defense forever, and yet she thanked him not for obedience, but for integrity. He whispered to himself, I stopped the most powerful woman in the country, and she made me realize the real power is doing your duty, even when no one's watching. The wind blew softly through the base that night, carrying a quiet pride through every soldier's heart. From that day, the gate at Fort Richmond wasn't just a checkpoint. It was a reminder that respect isn't demanded by titles. It's earned by actions. You're still here, and that means you cared enough to listen till the end, and that's rare these days. If this story hit home for you, please subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. I read them all, and I value every word.